The 2023 Memphis Grizzlies. An absolute failure of a travesty. Disgraceful, pitiful, disgusting, absolute clowns. They might not be the biggest travesties of the playoffs, but the biggest sore losers. All that talk, John Moran, childboy behavior. Grow up, man. Fine in the West, fucked around, lost to the best. Meltdown game 4, ran from the press. Anthony Davis, a man possessed, made you fall off your chest. Elimination closeout, 3 of 16, failed the test. Criminal performance, there's a warrant for your arrest. LeBron AD may yell depressed. Dylan Brooks unquestionably submitted. When MIA absolutely shitted. Who could have predicted? Free agency unrestricted. 2023, many will forget you ever existed. Mr. Angry Looks, get in the kitchen. You're absolutely cooked. One paragraph mentioned in the King's history book. Make you shook. You're a crook. Unc warned y'all courtside back in January, got you hiding in your sanctuary. Owned by Shannon Sharp, Mr. Brooks proceeded to play like Magic Harp. Poking bears, Bron and 1 took you to daycare. Post-game no-show, why you scared? Deactivated social media, already impaired. Got beat by 40, Bron made you his shorty. All bark, no bite, can't put up no fight, melted under the bright lights, press conference, nowhere in sight, nighty night, Hollywood walk of shame, already the fame, never will be the same. Dylan the villain, get on your knees, pick up your keys, get ready to learn Chinese. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. The most hated team in the NBA got a taste of their own medicine, especially with the whole world roasting you. Dylan Brooks absolutely smoked the most overrated and useless player in the playoffs. The only guy known for his embarrassing antics instead of any real production on court. All that trash talk for the series, 63 points, 77 shots, 24 made baskets, 20 personal fouls, 4 fat L's, no shower post game, absolutely smells. The reality is, after the announcement of big man Steven Adams not coming back, deep down, many Grizzlies fans knew they couldn't win without him. Missing the strongest player in the game, one of the most valuable role players, somebody who's mature, has tons of experience, plays his game the right way, hold everybody in check and doesn't mess around. Memphis got out-rebounded 45-34 game 1, led to a 22 second chance Laker points. The Grizz top rebounding team in the league by more than 2 boards when Big Steven went down January. Finished 4th overall since, stuck with undersized 6'8" Xavier Tillman, 31 minutes, a massive downgrade. Combined with the very athletic Brandon Clark being out with an Achilles tear, a super thin front line made life easier for Ant Davis, who averaged nearly 14 boards, while AD and Bron the 2 main rebounders in the series. Memphis just too overwhelmed on the glass, and mentally, the team wasn't mature enough to take a leap. Also talks smack to Golden State all season, only to get whooped on Christmas. No big changes on the mentality, lots of personnel and mental changes needs to be addressed. After the Shannon Sharp collusion, team responded going 1-8 afterwards. From that moment on, many knew these young boys couldn't handle the adversity. Also an absolute travesty, Ja and Bane combined outscored in Game 6 by D'Angelo Russell. The opposite attitude of the grit and grind era, Dylan Brooks drafted 45th overall with a chip on his shoulder, started with a 22-win team. That's why they landed Jared Jackson Jr., 4th pick. 2019 Gasol moved Conley's final year in Memphis before landing the number 2 pick in John Moran out of Murray State, a rising star out of nowhere. The cockiness all started when Golden State's Andre Iguodala acquired and refused to waste his time playing for the team. Dylan Brooks then opened his mouth. The villain status all began. Moran followed up by liking anti-Iggy tweets. Team actually became good enough to be the 8th seed but lost in the play-in bubble, narrowly falling to Portland. Taylor Jenkins' system, balancing everyone's minutes, a key recipe to Memphis' regular season success, a fast rebuild to playoff caliber, but the antics of Brooks' cockiness no longer let his game do the talking, continues to make delusional statements and dangerous in-game antics, countless plays from shoving Steph Curry, closelining Gary Payton II, 2022 playoffs, full-on headhunting, potentially a career-ending injury to a hard-working role player, to hitting Donovan Mitchell in the groin, and calling Shannon Sharp a blogger, to even Golden State trolling him after destroying his Grizz without Steph on Christmas. Triple J tweeting strength in numbers after a regular season win. Dubs got their revenge round 2. Brooks and Moran trash talking to the media. Moran's comments disrespecting the entire conference, being way ahead of themselves Even Desmond Bain getting into it and 1 elbowing LeBron over a year ago. James absolutely hasn't forgotten, got on LeBron and Golden State's nerves, multiple time champions, who knows what it takes to win. And Brooks continues to talk dynasty when they haven't even gotten past the second round yet. We're talking about a player with no accolades, no all-star selections, not even a single defensive team. Things got so out of hand, Steven Adams led a players-only meeting urging discipline for Morant getting in trouble, more details of violent incidents, series of investigations, multiple game suspension. Many Steven Adams fans secretly want him to be traded to a contender. His guys don't even listen to him. There's a reason why they can't win on the road. All the hocus pocus qualities, the lack of effort, no fight, immaturity. Ja going 1-on-5 tries to jump over LeBron only to land on himself. Reckless plays leads to absolutely nothing but more risk for injuries, and Coach Jenkins not getting off the hook for not confronting his players, relies too much on analytics, tries to go small, didn't work game 6 for AD, punished them like varsity against freshmen, manhandled by the long arms, and failing to address Brooks to tone it down a bit instead of shooting his team out the gym, be a 4th or 5th option on offense, but still in his mind thinks he's a 1st or 2nd option. Brooks saying he wouldn't mind facing LeBron and the Lakers, called him old and doesn't respect him till he dropped 40 on his head. How about a 22 and 20 piece that's over 40? Then got beat by 40 in the closeout, couldn't script it any better. Talking about legacy, he has no legacy. Zero response to all this trash talk. Any role player talking crazy to LeBron simply never ends well. Whether you're Deshaun Stevenson, Lance Stevenson, or Dylan Brooks, you ultimately find out the hard way. Brooks was absolutely trash in the playoffs, had no dog in him, didn't show up on the court or in the postgame, breaking shot after shot, shooting below 40% each of the 6 games, 4 of 11, 3 of 15, 4 of 11, 3 of 13, and 5 of 14, absolute tour date numbers. A -26 for the series did absolutely nothing to back up superstar Ja, who walked the walk with his performance many nights. Not once did Brooks respond, never cracked over a dozen points. Most delusional player in the NBA, acts like he's way better than he is when he's not guarding LeBron out there. Why the hell is he even in the game? A glorified clown, viewed as contenders, only to not put on a fight. Revived Anthony Davis back from the Walking Dead, made him look like 2003 Finals Tim Duncan out there, erasing everything in the paint, dominated the entirety of the game with his interior defense, looked like Kentucky AD out there. Memphis simply self-destructed, getting their butts kicked when both LeBron and AD didn't even average over 23 points for the series. If that was the case, many would think the Lakers lose easily, but Memphis cockiness led to LA playing with more motivation than ever. It wasn't just Bron and AD, but the hungry Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura closed out Memphis Game 1. Memphis couldn't handle Game 3 on the road, lost that game the first 5 minutes, outscored a disgusting 35-9 in the first quarter. Brooks tried to hit LeBron in the chops, giving his past antics well-deserved ejection. Unlike the Draymonds and Bad Boy Pistons of the world, those guys actually backed up their trash talk and won championships. Brooks don't even have the balls to man up and take his L's, ducking to the media. The arrogance. The sweetest loss these playoffs, not the most surprising outcome. A team that don't deserve any respect from their competition. Absolutely embarrassing defeat. Deserved the devastating blow in the coffin. Had the team just ball out without the antics, would have probably been a closer series. At least credit to Ja, he did come back after Game 1. Garbage time Game 3, but showed up and balled out in certain games. Also took accountability after Game 6 by facing the media. Memphis going forward, intriguing offseason, what they need. Number 1, get rid of Dylan Brooks, perhaps a sign and trade in a contract year, now see more of a distraction than a basketball player, proven to cause more harm than good to a team. He's always in the middle of controversies. Can't have a starter getting more headlines and cheap shots than any basketball highlights. As much as we love roasting him, he'll get an okay contract, 4-year $60 million range from a desperate team like the Bulls or even Timberwolves. When Draymond said the dynasty starts after him, coming off an embarrassing beatdown of a series, Morant's rookie extension kicks in, Bain eligible for a lucrative deal, Triple J and Clark long-term deals too, while Big Boy Adams, Tyus Jones, and Luke Kennard will make 8 figures next season. Brooks' lack of offense simply doesn't move the needle. With Ham letting his guys leave him wide open, at least Memphis did try to go after OG Anunoby, offered 3 firsts, and even 4 firsts to Mikal Bridges, both way better players and true professionals. All ball, no talk. Although this very well the last of Dillon Brooks with Memphis, certainly not with the NBA like many wanted due to his defense. At least he'll be out of basketball news till the summer. Might be hiding next couple months, but won't hide much longer next season. Way more fame, being a key figure to hate on, only number 1 in being the most disliked non-star in the NBA, Triple J and Tillman needs to learn how to rebound better, set better screens for Morant and Bane. Morant's D also needs to improve. Gotta stop being extremely reckless, be more disciplined, being the 3rd youngest team in the league, growing pains, far from a title team. A backup center should also be considered. Might go after a Mason Plumlee. Trading Tyus Jones, not too shocking since he barely plays come playoff time with Ja getting most minutes. Extending Kamshar could be a waste. Team hasn't found a replacement for former Kyle Anderson and DeAnthony Melton. A lot of the teams also by having 3 non-3-point shooters on the floor at the same time starting. Morant, Brooks, and Tillman, a liability offensively. Desmond Bane literally needed to go off to win those games. Memphis would have gotten destroyed Game 4 without him. Triple J also not the best scorer. Santee, Roddy, Kamshar, and Tillman, not guys to depend on for critical rotation minutes in any postseason capacity. Looking back, the 4th game most devastating loss, Memphis missing 33 threes. I'd be shocked if the Grizz doesn't move on from the dysfunctional, overrated, no-impact Dillon Brooks. If Mike Conley was available, he'd be a perfect locker room voice. Morant's still only age 23, nowhere near a leader yet. Most all-time greats like Steph and Michael Jordan didn't win their first playoff series till they were 25. With a new culture change, less silly antics, with or without Dillon Brooks, as long as there's a healthy Steven Adams, the Grizz will still be one of the top teams in the Western Conference next season. Instead of being 10 steps ahead of themselves, how about get to the conference finals, then do all the talking. One of those lumps and burden in Ja's early stages of his superstar career, this franchise will continue building around him, Desmond Bane, and Triple J. Will there be an attitude change next season? Can they tone it down a little bit? We'll find out soon enough. Until then, for the Memphis Grizzlies, next couple years super intriguing, and I'll see you next time.